don't have a spare.
Here,
I don't have.
Okay.
you sure? All right. Trying to remember if anyone's going to participate in Zoom or not. We don't stream these live, and we're only recording it for purposes of the minutes. So when you see the recording, there's nothing to it. We're not streaming this live. In fact, we won't post this, but we do use the recording for purposes of the minutes and for public access. We're doing all of our meetings in addition to person we do on Zoom. So if we have members of the public that want to participate, they can do so. Very few do at these sort of subcommittees, but we find that our council meetings are quite a lot of people participating on Zoom. So
I do know that Shelley Hong, one of our board trustees, has to attend by Zoom today.
oh, so she'll be here.
That's great.
Good.
That's
Right.
great.
That's I couldn't recall who was participating. It does make it easier.
I've not met any of you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
You didn't forget.
I think I know who you are.
We will do the honors.
Familiar.
Yes, I know. We will do the honors.
Yes, we'll go around.
So with that, do we have no online?
Oh,
there's Shelley
So
there.
Shelley can come in. Just leave it cracked a little bit. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's do that. Thank you. Okay, we will try and start the meeting. Hi, Shelley. I am Liz Gibbon, the council member, and I'm chair of the Education Subcommittee. And we will open our Educational Subcommittee meeting of June 7th to protect the constituents, city officials, and city staff. And the city requests that all members of the public follow the guidance of the California Department of Health Services and the County of Santa Clara Health Officers in order to help control COVID-19. This is a special meeting of the Educational Subcommittee meeting, which will be conducted in person as well as telecommunication, and is compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act. And with that, I think I don't need to say anything more than that. And we'll call the meeting to order. We don't typically take a roll call at this meeting, but we would like to do some introductions. So Brian, why don't we start with you and go around the table clockwise?
Sure. My name is Brian Leventhal. I'm the city manager here in Campbell.
And my name's Lauren Merriman. I'm the Recreation Services Manager, and I'm here for Natasha Bissell and Lauren Council and Julie Perotti. I'm a recreation attendee today.
That's Gemini isn't big enough. You need to,
Yeah, exactly.
added something or other.
I'm Peggy Tomaso. I'm the manager of the Campbell Library.
I'm Rebecca Gronsky. I'm the Campbell Teen Librarian.
Hi, I'm Clover Cott. I'm the new superintendent of the Moreland School District.
Welcome,
Nice to meet
welcome. Delighted to have you here.
Clover,
Spelled like,
like the
Okay.
4-leaf clover.
okay. And I'm Susan Landry. I'm on the Campbell City Council.
And Shelley?
Hello, please excuse my voice. I have a sore throat, which is why I'm not there in person. But my name is Shelley Hong, and I am one of the trustees at Moreland School District.
Oh, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. And great. I'm Liz Gibbons, council member with the city of Campbell, and we are just now being joined by a board member.
Yes, my name is Richard Nguyen from the Campbell Union Elementary and Middle School District.
Okay, welcome. Nice to have you here. And is your cohort?
Unfortunately, her flight got delayed, so she's unable to be here. So
Okay, next time.
next time.
So have you had a chance to meet Clover Cod, who is the new superintendent from Moreland?
Oh, congratulations.
Hi, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Good. All right. So thank you. And we'll begin the meeting with an opportunity for public comment. I see no public. Seeing none, we will go to the unfinished business, which is, I think we can probably close the door now. The unfinished business has to do with two items that we've been tracking for several months, actually since last year when you were chair of the subcommittee. And the first item is parental mental health support. And just to bring everyone up to date, the Campbell Union, Campbell Union School District board members came to us last year and said one of the things that they could use support on from the city was for mental health, not for the students per se, but for the parents and for the parents themselves, not even parents to child, but for the parents themselves. Several things were done. The library, which is a great resource for us, Clover, may I call you Clover?
Yes, of course, yes.
The library system here is quite superb and very responsive. So if you have any needs, they'll help you do whatever you need. And one of the things that they did, and you can describe it if you would.
I'll actually let me.
Okay, good.
Rebecca, what's the lead on that?
Oh,
She's done a
yes.
wonderful job.
Thank you. We had 3 main programs. One was in person, and it was Parenting with an Accent, which is a local author that we brought in. We had that same program virtually, and then we also had a program called From Panicked to Peaceful, and that was presented by the Child and Family Counseling Group. And we also made an extensive resource list of local resources that parents could reach out to, as well as a very extensive book list with lots of updated brand new titles. And then this might be jumping ahead, but
That's
we
fine.
were thinking of doing a similar program or programs in September for the start of the school year, being our next sort of wave of this, what we'd like to accomplish.
Okay, that would be great. And I think you also made sure people knew about Headspace and the availability of
thank you,
Headspace.
Yes, we have lots of availability in Headspace. We confirmed that there's lots of room for whoever wants to sign up.
So I don't know if Clover knows.
Yeah, so it's basically a resource that the library provides to our patrons, and it features guided meditations, sleep aids for all ages, so kids to all the way through parents and adults. And from the people who use it, I think Natasha uses it, has a lot of good things to say about it.
Yep.
Oh, the patrons that use it really like it. So, yeah.
I have a question. Did you have good attendance at the 3 events?
Yeah, the best attended one was the Panic to Peaceful. Lots of questions on that one. Just strategies for keeping a cool head amongst the chaos. So that one was the best attended.
And about how many?
I think it was 18, 15.
Oh,
something like
wow,
that.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
great.
wonderful.
Yes.
Are you getting feedback on the information, the books and things that you provided online?
I haven't heard direct feedback, but I think Jennifer was happy with it. Jennifer is our county librarian. I heard, but I haven't heard from patrons, so no.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
You guys did a lot.
And so perhaps one of the things that we recognized from the last meeting was making sure that this group had information from the library and from each other on everything that was doing, because the school districts also have their newsletters that go out. The information could be exchanged and distributed that way. So we want to make sure that you have access to Clover's email and whoever her contact needs to be.
Yeah, I sent an email. Actually, you were on my list of people. I sent an email to you on June 1st. You were on my list. There's a few people. And I heard back from Sergio Diaz at CUHSD and Marla Sanchez of CUSD. But Moreland, I'd love to get a direct whoever.
Yes, I can help you
Yeah,
with
feel
that.
free.
Tanya
Yeah.
De La Cruz is the best person. to
Okay,
contact.
okay, I do. She was on my list too. I
Okay.
just- Okay.
Yeah. And Sergio is a council member in Campbell.
Different name.
Different Sergio.
No, yeah, this
Oh.
is
It's a different
Sergio Diaz Luna.
Oh, okay, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
And is that list, the email that you send out, does it have the links to the, like where these information is on
So,
the library?
I originally sent an email rather than overwhelming everyone because everyone has different age groups that they're targeting. I sent an email saying, hi, I have materials. Let me know who the best contact is. And then I got responses. So from the high school district, I sent them all the teen and parent things. For the elementary, middle, I sent them all the, grade school parent things.
Okay.
And what I'll say is it was actually really effective for you to do that, to get the contact person, because if you send it to me, I don't know what distribution, but I think it's so smart that you asked for the information or communications point person. And so glad that you got connected with Marla.
Yeah, I can thank Brian, I believe your assistant gave me the list of
Good.
who to start with.
Good.
And that was the jumping point. So
Good.
yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you for all of that. And so I've said this several times. I happen to have a direct connection to a competitor of Headspace, but not financial. So that's great. Shelley, do you have any thoughts or questions on this topic?
I was just gonna ask for the Headspace. Is it free for librarian patrons?
Yes, so you do have to have a library card to sign up, and you do
Got it.
have to sort of re-sign up your spot at the beginning of every month, because we don't want people taking up spots who aren't using it actively. But the only requirement is a library card.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And the library also was proactive with your predecessor in Moreland, and I think all of our school districts, on having all the students get library cards.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes, so
Okay.
digital access cards are available to all students.
And the parents.
Yeah,
Okay. And the parents. Okay. So
I'll follow up.
if you don't, yeah,
Please do.
if you need anything, don't hesitate to follow up. I wanted to just also talk about the library's relationship with our youth commission. And the dynamic there, and our youth commission often has mental health and other issues. The youth commission runs from grade 6. Grade 6,
Seven.
grade 7 to 12 public and private schools. And I'm digressing a little bit, but I just wanted to make the connection between other ways that the library works with our youth and different age groups. Okay,
just to really quick,
sure.
that we just completed our interviews for the next school year's worth of youth commissioners.
Right.
And to follow up, we do have more boys this year. I think
Yay!
more boys applied. It was very exciting.
That's great.
Look out for that.
It's always been great to work with them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
incredible. Julie's incredible. I love that group.
So that's wonderful. Okay, so we've just been joined by Natasha Bissell, who's the director of the Recreation and Parks Department. Say that right?
Recreation Community Services.
Recreation and Community Services. Okay,
And
and you
Have you
have
met
not had a
David?
chance to meet.
No.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I'm the superintendent of
Yes.
Moreland.
Okay, and then Shelley, I don't know if you've met Shelley, who's on the board at Moreland.
No, visually. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay, all right. Is there, with the update that we just received, that in the fall, you're looking to run some more mental health programs so that the Youth Commission will be aware of that as an opportunity for them? Is there any other follow-up that we should consider on this topic? Or I'll mention the ministerial group, which is an informal group in Campbell, had a meeting with NAMI and made some very good connections there. So, and NAMI's been doing a lot of programs. NAMI is the National Association of Mental Illness, is that correct? They have an excellent chapter and a resource here in our area. So again, that's another organization you might need in addition to the services that your school contracts for, I'm sure. But anyway, anything else?
we can add this to our agenda item when the mayor makes announcements.
What?
The links and stuff to the library for regarding this.
We can probably do that in July or August. Okay,
Do you want me to send that to anyone in particular?
it goes to
Usually-
Diana.
Yeah, Diana knows she'll include them.
Yeah, just a note for the mayor's announcements.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you. Okay, item number 2 of unfinished business is an update on the Wi-Fi. That's also from last year that the city has been working with. And I don't know if Brian has an update. The purpose of the discussion was that not everyone has Wi-Fi access. And there was an effort to try and understand where the library provided access, where the city provided access, where the school districts provided access. And if there were voids, ideally the city might have a pole or something that might facilitate improving the coverage. And the city was following up with our IT people and specifically with Campbell Union School District staff. So I don't know the status of that, Brian.
Yeah, and that's a great lead. And in addition to that, the city was pursuing a project, the council authorized using some of our federal rescue funds to fund a Wi-Fi project at our community center for community access. And that was kind of how it started, that discussion of what we're doing, what you're doing. We did speak with Trevor, who is the lead IT person for
Correct.
Campbell Union School District. He asked that we just kind of pause that work until the end of the school year, till next week, because of resource issues they had. And apparently there's some staffing issues with COVID and just that crush at the end of the school year. So they asked when we reached out to them, absolutely, we'll collaborate till he asked to wait till next week. I think there's a meeting set up next Thursday between our IT manager and Trevor.
Yes.
To start having that discussion. So I think the idea is summertime is a little bit more downtime to look at systematic improvements that way. And that was the thought
Perfect.
process. So we'll follow up more as we hear from next week. If there's anything that comes up, I'll share them with that.
Is there anything that Moreland might want to contribute to that discussion, or do you want to wait and see what comes of the first one?
I need more time to understand the issue from your perspective. I'll wait and see,
Okay,
but be happy to look at anything just coming in. I just need more time to.
that's
figure out
fine.
what you guys
Yeah,
are
we're not
doing.
trying to overwhelm you. Tsunami time. So just know that it is a topic that was identified as needing to understand, to help students have access to the internet.
So
And you're,
I think it was looking for like grant opportunities that the school district could utilize to put, I'm not gonna use the right IT terminology, but like a signal out, but they can't always get to them in the neighborhoods that need them. So they were looking for public property in which they could collaborate with the
Yeah.
city to be a host for those types of signals to help neighborhoods in which internet access was not feasible. So-
is there some literature or a report that has been done that I can?
No, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, we do have a article about our efforts to close the digital divide. So I don't remember the technical term, but it's like the California like public broadcast
Mhm.
antenna, I think. I call it antenna, but essentially they're sticking an antenna in a neighborhood and providing the Wi-Fi there. There are some technical issues with that. So sometimes it doesn't penetrate some of the buildings as we would hope it would. So I know Trevor has been working on trying to find whether or not that is the best way for those neighborhoods, or is it hotspots, or is it something else? And so we're so grateful that the city is working on finding those locations. And if there are locations in Moreland that could also benefit from that, that would be a great collaboration too. Because ultimately, this is an issue that I think everyone can get behind after
Right,
distance learning. So
right.
I'd be happy to connect my director of technology with the appropriate person who's the point person on the project.
So if you let Cecil Lawson is our
Okay.
manager, if you give us a contact, we'll connect them with him.
Okay.
And no obligation. This is just identifying a problem and seeing what the potential is.
To collaborate. Yeah.
Collaborate.
And certainly with the city, obviously, as Natasha mentioned, infrastructure is important because roads, streetlights, other things that we sometimes look at mounting equipment. It may not be a mounting issue, it may be a penetration, it may be some other issues. There's ways to collaborate. That was the idea, just trying to identify those.
But what I would say is, the first time that I was able to come to this committee to talk about mental health, to talk about, closing the digital divide, and to see progress in these areas, I almost feel like we all should be coming here and asking for our project, ask for more. So this is a very welcoming group, and we get stuff done here, and that's very encouraging. So I thank the city council and city staff for all of the work that you guys have been doing, because it does take a community to create a good learning environment. So thank you.
Good. Delighted that this is useful. We do sometimes have, and it's a loss right now that the high school district hasn't been attending lately, particularly since they moved in. Up
Yeah, I was gonna say the right next door.
Well, we haven't been attending it at all, so.
Not for a long time.
Not for a
You
long
used to.
time.
You
We
used to.
will now.
Yeah,
Yes.
good. And so we're trying to get the high school back. We often have had representatives from West Valley Mission College as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be shared and done. So thank you for all of that. Okay. Any other thoughts on the Wi-Fi before we move on? Okay. And then we have new business. This is to consider methods of communication amongst the committee members. Brian, you had some thoughts on this?
Yeah, this was, I think, stemmed from, if I recall correctly, I was just looking at my notes from the previous discussion we had, and we've already kind of closed the loop a little bit on it, but it was when there's these great programs, whether it's a library, the school district, or the city, how do we effectively get that word out with getting the right contact people, making sure that, you know, they get the word out. And it sounds like that's starting to happen. We're not quite there yet.
Yeah,
with
we're almost
library
there.
programs,
So,
but
yeah, I know for Sergio Diaz Luna, he's very, and actually Marla Sanchez as well says that the social media posts are super easy to post and put on their pages. And that Marla said that she would post a news story in the newsletter if it fits with our activity/objective. So i.e. the getting ready for kindergarten program set. So that's kind of where we're at. And then Moreland will get that set up, whatever works for you guys. Yeah.
I have a question. Would it be appropriate to ask the Campbell Press to maybe do an article towards the end of the summer to let everybody know? They're getting wide circulation.
Yeah.
They have a lot of pages.
Yeah, they're doing that. They are still having a little quality control issue. So I'm a little nervous, but yeah, they published one, the first Friday or last Friday of every month. They publish once a month.
I think they went to twice a month.
Oh, did
They're
they?
trying, and she got it adjudicated.
Oh, well done.
So
That's
that
good.
was
So-
fun for
so
us
that's
to
good.
follow.
Yeah, so we miss the local news, so it's a really important thing. The Campbell Press was the Campbell Express, was the Campbell Press before that. So it's been around for a long time, and it kind of disintegrated for a couple of years, not COVID specifically related. So we're delighted to have it back. And they are looking for articles and ways to reach out the community. They do have a larger online presence than they've ever had before.
Oh.
So that's exciting.
And I
And
think
the
it's
editor
more-
is Nancy Whitman.
Nancy, I didn't know her as Nancy.
Whitney.
Whitman.
Whitney.
That's it. Nancy
I do
Whitney.
know there's more pages than there was.
Yeah.
When towards the end of Campbell Express, it was getting thin, and they're getting a lot of advertisement, and if they're adjudicated,
They can take the city ads back.
yeah, we had to stop. We were using them, and then they were not adjudicated under the new name. So we can go back because they got a lot of money for us. We posted all the council meetings, all the official notices. So that's something we can follow up on to have them adjudicated,
Yeah.
are adjudicated.
Yeah. So they, sometimes you'll find the newspaper free at the libraries or around town, or you can subscribe. So you'll now see it and know what it is. So,
They're right here on Campbell Avenue, and they have a little bin out front, and they have the free paper, and like the library has them in some other places.
do you know where the library has moved to?
No.
Okay, ladies.
We are, we used to be there. We'll be back there. It's
Yeah.
a brand new.
Oh, it's being
refurbished building, yeah.
renovated. Okay.
But we're now at the community center.
Oh,
in-
okay.
in Building E46.
Okay.
Which is easily accessible off of Winchester.
Yes.
There's a
I
nice
saw-
parking lot right there, and it's right on the corner.
Mhm.
And it's just a wonderful, amazingly successful library, and you have all kinds of programs. Maybe at some point, either Clover or Tanya could do a orientation for all the library services there and online, because they've got phenomenal magazine and I forget it. What's the name of the Libby? I was close.
Free
Libby.
ebooks.
And some great free.
Thought we had been working with somebody in Campbell Libraries.
I think so, prior to COVID, and you guys,
Or
I am a
even
Moreland parent, so
Sunstone.
I know like they would do like the library cards and all that stuff.
Yeah, we upload your student
Yeah.
cards every year.
So just, there are other things that you may benefit from knowing about. Sure. Okay,
Real quick, do you know about our $20 million renovation?
At the library, and I do now. It's going to be fabulous.
So the city took out bonds for $50 million 3 years ago.
2018.
2018, we're gutting the library down to the beams and the roof and the floor. I think so, literally leaving the shell on the outside off. A beautiful new design, big grand staircase. It's gorgeous. And then we're building a $20 million police station. Well, actually, they're more because they got grants, but yeah, so we have the 2 projects. This is going out to bid, I want to say in August. And then the PD will follow from there.
That's fantastic.
So I think it's about a year construction, a little more.
More than that. More than that.
This is an architect.
I think this is spring of 24.
Yeah.
Okay. So very exciting for us.
Very
It is.
exciting. More exciting for us.
Yeah, we're pretty close behind.
The Campbell owns the building, but we have like a long-term lease for the library.
So not all libraries are in the Santa Clara County Library System. San Jose has its own library system, and you have several San Jose libraries near you over in West San Jose and so forth. But we're special.
You can use any of the systems, but you need a library card in each one. And they're free.
And they're free. Yeah, that's with lots of good things. Okay. Any other questions about communication?
Yeah, I have on my Outlook, I have a groups set up. And I was wondering if, I don't know if Diana can do that, Brian, and give me all the emails so that I have a group. So when you send it out, we all get it. That'd be nice.
We do. We
The
got that.
county also, if you subscribe, Marion, is it Marion or Mariana Walker? I always get hers, and she does like the whole system of events.
Yeah,
which is
I get
also
all
a
of that too.
great Resource.
Yeah.
But it might be advantageous if we could really work on getting Shelley from Campbell Union and Robert from the high school district for fall, and maybe kick off something of how we can really work towards some objectives. I think mental health has been a predominant theme that we've talked about, and the youth commission will be back and kind of maybe working collaboratively to host something. I know Moreland did the whole, it was prior to you arriving, they had done a show about for parents about technology addiction for children and stuff. It was like a documentary, which was really interesting. I know we hosted something for NAMI for a mental health thing. And so if we can find a way, to host it or do something and we all work together with the students, that might be a great thing to do for the fall. And then we're not so siloed, like the high school's doing one thing and the elementaries are doing another, and the city and the youth commission are trying to do something else. And
When I meant
library-
group, I meant the people here in the room, a group. Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice.
Pull our resources a little bit.
Yeah. So I think both Susan and I will work with Stacy from the
The Campbell Union High School.
board member, and see if we can get her to nudge. She said she would commit to getting her people here. So we will work on that over the summer.
They're only 2 blocks away.
I know. They bought the old Campbell Grammar School, and that is now the office for the Campbell Union High School District. And the Campbell Union School District is around the corner on 4th,
Right over there. Yeah.
right over there.
So if you go and get lunch in downtown Campbell, when I do that, I always see a bunch of district staff members. So it's always nice. I love the fact that we're really a community, right? And we have so much history here. I know when you were talking about some of the projects that we've talked about, I was like, how can we celebrate the fact that there are people who have, I don't know exactly your stories. I know like Sergio went to the same elementary school that I went to, right? Which was Castlemont. I'm wondering how we can celebrate that. I don't know if you guys have an anniversary coming up or for
Well, you just.
we just had it too.
You
We had
just had
100.
yours, yes. the
Yeah,
100th
so maybe that's why I'm getting nostalgic.
Yes.
But, it's just great. It's just great that everyone's kind of coming together. And so I agree with you. If we can get the high school district here, they have a lot of different celebrations and challenges. And so that would be great to have their input. But I also love the fact that you mentioned, the community colleges. We're trying to work with them more as well. So this might be the perfect, I don't know, I see this as the solutions committee. So the more the merrier. So glad that you guys are here.
Prior to COVID, we did have them attend.
Yeah.
And some of the topics had to do with what classes were in high school and how they transferred to the community college. And they were talking about work experience
Mm.
and how some of the classes could be geared more around some of the work experience. But when COVID hit, I don't even think we met for a while during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one other topic that came up in the past is, I happen to know Congresswoman Anna Eshoo quite well, and she has some phenomenal student programs. They just had their presentations last week, where there's a group of young people, a high school, who pick a piece of legislation. They define their own legislative issue. They do all their research, and then they present in this end of the school year on legislation that they would like her to bring to Congress and
Oh, wow.
submit. And the presentations just blow your mind. They're extraordinarily wonderful. It's a great opportunity for high school
Yeah.
students. Also, they do the appointments to the academies.
Mm.
And it's a great resource for anyone who's looking for that. So I'm anxious to get the high school re-engaged because we have these opportunities. And her office will have sent someone to a meeting and talk about these things. So we can also work on that.
She had the art competition.
That I've forgotten about.
Yeah, they had a really wonderful, some of the artwork that the students did was wonderful. And she had a selection committee and prizes, and they filled up a whole classroom in, I forget what school it was, and everybody had their art displayed. It was really nice that she does that.
Yeah, and I mean, so to tell you how small town we are, the Country Women's Club of Campbell is one of the oldest women's clubs in the state. And they annually give out music awards and art awards. And they have formal presentation of musicians. They do go to the stage, they each perform, and they also have an exhibit. And they give away scholarships of $2,000 to $5,000.
Oh.
So it's not minor, chump change kind of thing. So there's a lot of things that the community does. We have great service organizations that have all kinds of programs. And then the summer concert series, I don't know if you know about that.
I'd like to
Ivan.
learn more about it.
Okay, so Brian, you can bring us. Oh, it's me. Well, I was trying not to burden you, but since you volunteered.
Yeah, the summer concert series is going to be running for 4 weeks this summer, starting June 23rd. So June 23rd, every Thursday for 4 weeks. And it happens right here on the Orchard City Green. So we invite everyone to come down and enjoy an evening of music from 6:30 to 8. Yeah.
The Museum Foundation usually hosts like beer and wine sales and food sales. And yeah, it's just a really bring your lawn chair and bring your picnic basket. Yeah.
People aren't supposed to set up early, but they're here.
They do.
They come at 1 o'clock and leave their chairs. Yeah.
It's normally an 8-week season. And so this year it's only 4 because of the construction at the library. And then once that's finished, then we'll go back to normal out there. Yeah. Fun. Yeah.
So it's a great community.
They fill that all up. The
Oh,
band stands, the
And then
band's over there by the stairs, and all the lawn is, they sit on the mounds over there. Well attended.
And one thing that might be helpful is we just had our centennial celebrations. And so we partnered up with the city. And so, we had our ceremony at the Ainsley House. And then after that, we had a concert, which the city was so gracious to coordinate with us. And one of our teachers has a band, so she performed on the stage. And it just kind of goes to show you the collaboration that can happen between a school district and the city. And so you should definitely go for your own interview, but just to give you an idea of how you can partner up with the city. But if you take our time slot, then I'm going to be disappointed.
And there's one other item, since you brought up the museum. I don't know if you'll know this, I'm sure your staff does. The museum has a history of the ballet for all third graders. And it's a
Yeah.
great program.
It's written to state standards, so it's part of the curriculum. A lot of your elementary school teachers know it. They have a third grade program at the Historical Museum, and then they have like a fourth, fifth grade program out of the Ainsley House. And so because of COVID, obviously not happened. We also have traveling trunks that they can rent and bring to the classroom. And Carrie was doing a really good job about hosting virtual type things. It's just very hard to navigate moving, and we don't have like cameras set up in those things for like a full tour options. But we did get a virtual tour of the inside of the Ainsley House online over COVID as well.
Are they still doing things over here at the old fire station?
They will be, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now they're not. So I know very few schools were doing field trips this last year. They were just trying to maintain.
We're taking advantage of your being here to boast. Any thoughts, Shelley?
No, it all seems very good. Sorry, excuse my voice.
It's okay, don't talk. I just don't want you to be left out.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay, so we've sort of segued into other business. Does anyone, or shall we just go around the table and mention, we've talked about things like summer programs. We've talked about bond issues that people might be coming up with. We've talked about all kinds of things that, we just bring up. So I'll put you on the
You
spot.
want me to give the update for our department? So it's been mentioned, but the Youth Commission just ended their school year term in May and came to City Council a few weeks ago. So they're on summer break, but as you generously mentioned, they do have a new slate of 13 members, including some additional males that will be joining the group, and they'll be starting again in August and working on their work plan. And mental health has been a focus of theirs for the last several years. So I imagine that will remain, and they are very appreciative of all the collaborative work with the library this year. In addition, we are getting ready to jump into summer as the school year ends. Our summer programs begin. So as we talked about, the summer concerts coming up, and then our summer camps programs. We have a few running this week for those schools that have gotten out already. And then next week marks the big start of the summer over at John D. Morgan Park for our day camps, and then at the community center for many of our enrichment camps.
Do
And
you
what
know
else?
about our flyer, the program? Have you seen that? Before you leave here.
I'll grab a
You're
flyer.
up at Gorb, you guys-
Yeah,
you're
the
right, yeah,
activity
yeah,
guide?
yeah,
Tanya
activity
Tanya, my assistant, probably does
Yeah,
know about it.
but
and
again,
shares it,
Yeah,
but-
yeah. And it's, Moreland also offers their own camp program too. So things that compete, we generally don't share. You know what I'm saying? Advertise against each other, which is respected, but it's just more, those programs, they do provide actually our transportation. So they are running the bus. They are the bus system for all of our field
I
trips that are
didn't know
coming
that.
up this summer. Yeah, so Moreland will be hosting that for us, which is fantastic. We've worked with all the school districts, and we kind of rotated through, and Moreland was the one who was able to jump on it this year for us. It's great because that is a huge driver in our camp program. We have about 250 to 300 kids weekly out at John D. Morgan Park, so it's a very large program. Yeah.
And then swim lessons are pretty much full for the summer, but we do have some spaces available, and we will have recreation swim Tuesday through Saturday, 2:15 to 3:15, Saturdays until 4:15.
Yeah.
It's $2 per person.
And we have movie nights that's
Oh.
in collaboration with Community Christian. And so there's one during the summer in July.
One in July and one in
So,
September.
Yeah, so, and that'll be out at John D. Morgan, like as the sun goes down, we'll do it under the stars in the Pony baseball field.
That's it.
That's it.
Out there.
Campbell Union will have its 8th grade promotion ceremonies on Friday. And so I think probably everyone in education is just trying to get through the rest of the week. And then we also will be starting our summer programs. And so we're excited about that. And I think, as we're returning to more in-person events, we're excited about restarting some of our traditional programs that we've had during the normal academic year. So not much else to report, just one more week.
3 more days.
Counting.
Well,
And I'll be able to get out of my driveway.
there you go.
Thank you.
The library has started up their regular preschool story time. It's every Wednesday morning. We're doing them outdoors now because some of the parents have been concerned because the real little ones still cannot be vaccinated. And the community center has graciously let us give that a try and see if it works for them. Hopefully, no complaints. Haven't heard
So
anything.
far, so good.
We're really happy about that. We're up to about 50, but we used to have 200 people come to our
Wow.
story time. So we're still hoping people hear about it and start coming now that we're outdoors. We have our regular summer reading program. This is a program just to encourage kids to read during the summer. They get a free book for signing up, and also tickets to the Tech Museum as long as we have them, and a book when they finish. And so that's something they can do on their own. They don't have to come at a particular time. And that's for children, teens, and adults. Adults can get in a drawing for a free county parking pass, free parking pass. So
That's good for a whole year.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah.
Am I eligible?
Yeah.
Great.
You probably heard about our state parks pass that people can put on hold. There's more holds than we have passes. So
Yeah.
that was a very popular program. So, and the state funded that for us. And we've got a full slate of programs. We've got every Wednesday, we have a program for school-age children in the afternoon, and that's always free. So we're gonna have magicians, and storytellers, and puppeteers. We have some craft programs all this month. So we're trying to keep them busy if they're not in camp. That's about it.
Yeah, for teens, we've had mostly virtual programs. We do have a couple of paint nights for them throughout summer. One of the virtual programs is like characters designed by the Walt Disney Family Museums. They get to learn how to create their own character from them. That's gonna be really fun. And the thing that I'm most excited about, because I got to partner with Julie, was I set up a list of scavenger hunt questions where they could go to local Campbell parks, answer 3 questions, and then they get to enter a drawing for a Nintendo Switch Lite. So
Ooh.
I went for a big prize this year. So
Wow.
that's really fun.
When does that kick off?
It's kicked off
Okay.
and they have until the end of August to enter.
Wonderful.
The Friends of the Library pay for the prizes.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And they're having a book sale this Saturday,
Yes.
by the way. If you have nothing else to
Oh,
do,
yeah.
they're having a book sale. They have great prices on children's books as well as things for adults and teens.
Is it gonna be at your, in
It's
the
right up
same
in the
room or?
benches. And they put
Okay.
tables all in the shaded area there in front of the library.
Yeah, that works out really nicely.
Wonderful.
It's all me. Well, I wasn't quite sure what information to bring since this is my first one, but just kind of listening to you all, I think I'll share that mental health has been a priority of ours too in Campbell for our students, our staff, and now we're bringing our families in. So we're partnering with Care Solace, which is an organization that's going to be where they help connect families and staff with resources, connect to mental health services, and sort of find the mental health services that work with whether you have insurance or don't have insurance or on some form of state aid. And so they help connect families to the resources so the families don't have to find it for themselves, which is really hard to find mental health resources. So we're starting that up this next school year. We just found out this week, Shelley doesn't even know this, that we received a grant from Santa Clara County to build a wellness center at the Anderson campus. And they're also going to staff, I know, and pay for a full-time staff member to be in the wellness center.
That's amazing.
Really exciting.
Wonderful.
And then to go along with that theme, just school safety, mental health, school safety has been an issue and top of mind. Of course, lately, last couple weeks, we had 80 middle school students from Latimer and Moreland Middle School trained by the Safe Schools Ambassadors Program, where the student leaders come together for a 2-day training and learn how to resolve conflicts with peers, be observant, be able to step in, be able to report if needed, to sort of be the eyes and ears on the ground and help build culture inside the school so that it's safe and welcoming and inclusive for all of our students. So we're really excited to start that program next year. EDS will be jumping into it next year as well. And then I think the one, if there's I know when Mary Kay left, she had talked about maybe the crossing guard program. I think that probably went away at some point. I don't know if it was funding or.
Believe it or not, I put that on
You
my.
have it on your
notes.
list. It's the corner of Fallbrook and Campbell Avenue, that busy kind of street.
Which one?
Just,
Fallbrook.
I think it's San Jose. I think that's the.
is
problem.
that the problem?
Yeah.
That it's like
Because we.
half Campbell, half.
Because we do partner with the Campbell Union
Yeah.
School District for crossing guards. We'd certainly do the same, but I think you're right.
It
I
is.
think it's the San Jose jurisdiction is the issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So that's a Chappie Jones and candidate
Okay,
topic.
we'll reach out to him about that one. But school safety, I mean, I think that just in general, and because I think the San Jose Police Department is also serves us, not the
Yes,
Campbell Police
right,
Department. They've been great lately. It's just been, really anxious time, and getting to the end of the school year is not a given. So just been slightly on edge as a new superintendent, waiting to finish out the year, just to make sure everybody is safe and happy going off into the summer. We're also having summer programs at the EDS campus and the Payne campus, and we are serving about 500 students this summer.
Wow.
So we are in full swing.
Programs.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You're not high school, right?
No, it's
Okay.
K through 8.
K through 8.
So I was just gonna bring it up, but this high school's not here. Before COVID, we had classes from the high schools that came into our council meetings. And they had to attend as part of the credit for the class.
Like service learning type.
Yeah, for kind of government. I think it was civics, government class. And the motivation to stay was they had to get the council members to just sign our meeting agenda. So it kept them engaged. In fact, there was one meeting that was really cute because we kept saying, come on, you guys, speak up, say something. It's open forum. And the 2 students got up and talked about having a movie night and having an outdoor movie event or some skateboarding thing. But the whole group of kids were all, yeah, get up, get up. So I thought it was great having them engaged, and I'm gathering middle school probably wouldn't do that, but that's something that was cool before COVID. And then the other thing, I'll just, you didn't really bring it up, but the Youth Commission does a coffee and politics once a year. And that was really interesting. And there were superintendents or people.
School
from the
boards, there were school boards, yeah.
board members that did attend 2 years, 3 years ago. I missed the
Before
one
COVID.
this year, but
Yeah.
that's another collaborative event. And I thought it was great that the students came
So
up.
seventh, 8th and up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a member of the youth commission. It was just open to anyone. I think grade 7 and up to just come and meet elected officials and just ask questions. It was quite a bit of fun this year. It has been before, but this year it was particularly fun. Okay, I think we often talk about, we talked about crossing guards. So because the city does partially fund in collaboration with the Campbell Union School District. I wanted to mention that Campbell is doing the housing element. And something of interest was last Thursday, there's a project, so it's an ongoing thing with a rapid schedule. I'm being polite. It's like going over Niagara Falls. The document is due at the end of December, but a draft is due out this week, something like that, next week. And it would be interesting for all of the school districts to look at it because it identifies the current plan identifies a little over 6,000 housing units. Council will evaluate the opportunity sites and likely bring that number back down. Our state goal is around 3,000 to 4,000, depending on how you calculate it. And the reason I wanted to mention that, not only is it because of population potential impacts, but one of the projects that's coming out right now, Measure A. Measure A is a county bond measure that I think was also passed in 2018. And Campbell's been working very hard to find a way to utilize some of that bond money. And the project that's currently in the works, nothing is ever settled till it's settled, is at the VTA stop on Winchester. I don't know, across from the Bud Drive-In next to St. Lucy's. There's a very tiny lot, a 1 acre parcel. And VTA has just awarded the bid for supportive housing. 100% of the units will be at 80% or below BMR, below market rate units, with a percentage going to supportive housing. There's no rapid rehousing going there now, but they're projecting, I'm gonna forget, it was a very large number of students, living in that complex. So you want to pay attention to that as it moves forward, kind of thing. So it's 100, I think it's 108 units, something like that. And then possibly in your district, I don't know the boundaries quite, but there are some projects at Santa Mosaquino and some opportunity sites at Santa Mosaquino and Campbell Ave that might be part of yours. The vast majority are likely to be in yours. So you want to just be aware of what that is and take a look at the draft and ideally make comments if you have any feedback. I think the environmental document is done, right? So it is the draft of the housing element. We're also doing a general plan element concurrently. So all of that will come into play about open space, circulation, infrastructure, quality of air quality, all the typical things that are in a general plan. So that's happening quite rapidly through the summer and has to be finalized by December. So I'd encourage you to take a look at it and have any thoughts, let us know through the process on that.
One other site, the
Mhm.
uplift,
It's not relevant to this,
well, it's going to change the housing from up.
but it's in the document.
Okay.
So it's not over and above, it's not outside the document. Okay, and the other final thing that we often talk about is anybody planning to do any election issues. So if we're going out for a bond measure or parcel tax in the schools, basically, it's nice to kind of know what each other's doing, so you don't compete on the same ballot.
We'll have a bond measure. It's to re-up our bond. So it's not a new
It's a continuation, more or less,
situation.
under your, do you have a target that you're gonna stay under? A lot of places have a target.
Yeah, I don't remember what the number was, or I think we were doing surveys, but I think at our next board meeting, which is on Thursday, we'll get a report on that. So you should know. I think and I'm pretty sure the high school district is also going out
Okay,
for a measure as well. So measures all around.
I know, yeah.
We don't have any coming up.
We were thinking about it, but I don't think anything's gonna happen. So that's the kind of information we'd like to share. Sure. Anything else? Okay. Anything anyone would like to have on the agenda for the next meeting? And so this is now June. We do it every 2 months. We skip July. We actually typically skip August and start up in September if it's not too difficult a time for people to meet. And the meeting is typically the first Tuesday of every month at 4 o'clock. So shall we set the next meeting for September? Let's see, wait a minute, let's check the calendars. That might,
I think Diana has them on the even months.
it would change because of
Yeah.
COVID. So you're probably right. Hold on one sec.
Well, I would think the first Tuesday of September is like right after Labor.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
gonna be
the
the
sixth. It's the
day after
sixth.
Labor Day.
Yeah, that's when
It's the
schools are
6th.
starting.
Yeah.
No, they start in August.
Yeah.
Oh, they do all
Yeah,
start in
that
August.
Labor Day rules.
My
So
daughter's 36. I don't remember. what school. She did go to Lynn Haven.
When she went to school, they did start after Labor Day.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, she went to Lynn Haven.
So that would make the schedule September, November, and January.
So are we gonna move to September instead of the first Tuesday?
The first Tuesday is the 6th September.
I think the question is, because of the holidays, should we move it? But
Oh,
I don't mind either way.
I'm asking,
Okay.
but we could skip September altogether, or try and meet in September, whatever would be useful. We've got the youth commission going and a lot of things, so the earlier we make sure we chat, I think would be helpful.
Well, I guess my question is, since you're already doing projects that are geared towards the beginning of the year for parental support and mental health, I mean, what would be the best way to support that? Would that be a meeting so that we can kind of disseminate, or do you think by then you'll have the public information officers of all the districts and they can?
Yeah, they'll definitely be informed at least the beginning of August. I like to have things set at least a month out. So that's not a problem. We can just wrap up our thoughts on like, here's what's coming within the month of September during that meeting, if we have one in September. That's fine.
So, I mean, we're amenable to whatever works for the group, and the schools are the ones that are the most challenged. So I think we can accommodate whatever works for you. Clover, any thoughts? You're the-
Those
you're
work
the-
for me.
Works, okay?
Yeah.
So let's stick with the September first meeting and September 6th.
Shelley, does that work for you?
Yeah, it does. Perfect.
All right,
So September 6th at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
okay.
Thank you, everybody. for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yes.
So pleased to have us.
They'll be here from now on.
See
so
the room
apologize.
full here?
I'm excited to have
Thank you,
you.
Shelley.
Thank you guys so much. I will look forward to seeing you all in person.
Feel better.
Thank you.
Tanya, and I was like,